The arrival of the Celestials. In the vastness of space, a fleet of shimmering ships glided silently through the cosmos. These were not ordinary vessels, they belonged to an advanced alien race known as the Celestials. Their leader, Captain Aloan, observed Earth from her command ship, marveling at its vibrant blue oceans and swirling clouds. "Prepare for descent," she commanded her crew, her voice steady despite the anticipation thrumming through her crystalline form. The Celestials had long sought new worlds to explore and conquer, and Earth was ripe for discovery. Dr. Yarrick, a scientist aboard the ship, analyzed data streaming in from their sensors. "Preliminary scans indicate a civilization with primitive technology," he reported. "They lack interstellar travel and have only recently begun exploring their own solar system." Commander Voss interjected with skepticism. "We must not underestimate them. They may possess hidden capabilities we cannot yet perceive." As they descended through Earth's atmosphere, Captain Aloan felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The Celestials had encountered many species across the galaxy, some hostile, others peaceful, but none had ever posed a challenge like this one. Upon landing in a remote area of North America, the Celestials deployed drones to gather intelligence on humanity. They expected awe and fear from this new civilization but were met with something entirely unexpected: curiosity. Across the globe, people gazed at the sky in wonder as news spread of the alien arrival. Social media erupted with speculation and excitement. Amateur astronomers trained their telescopes on the shimmering ships while scientists scrambled to analyze any data they could gather. Back on board their command ship, Captain Aloan watched as humans began transmitting signals toward them, messages filled with questions rather than fear. "What do they want?" she mused aloud. "They wish to communicate," Dr. Yarrick replied, his eyes wide with intrigue. "They seem eager to understand us." Commander Voss frowned. "This is unorthodox behavior for a species facing an advanced alien force." As hours turned into days, what began as an exploration mission transformed into a complex interaction between two vastly different civilizations. The Celestials attempted to establish communication protocols using light-based signals that had served them well across countless encounters. However, humanity responded in ways that baffled their alien visitors. Instead of submitting or fleeing in fear, people worldwide began experimenting with technology, repurposing old devices and creating makeshift communication systems to reach out to their new visitors. Captain Aloan observed this phenomenon with growing concern. "They are not responding as we anticipated," she transmitted to her council back home. "They seem to be adapting." In a small workshop in a suburban neighborhood, engineer Tarek was among those who felt compelled to act. Inspired by videos circulating online about the alien ship's light patterns, he gathered his friends for an impromptu brainstorming session. "What if we could communicate back?" Tarek proposed excitedly. "We could use lasers or even sound waves." His friends exchanged glances filled with uncertainty but also hope. They quickly set to work gathering materials, old laser pointers from discarded toys and sound equipment from local bands, to create their own signal system aimed at the celestial ships hovering above. Meanwhile, Dr. Yarrick continued his research aboard the command ship, fascinated by humanity's ingenuity but also increasingly concerned about their unpredictability. "They are using primitive technology in ways we never anticipated," he reported during a council meeting with Captain Aloan and Commander Voss. "They are not merely trying to survive, they are experimenting." As days passed and tensions mounted between both sides, it became clear that humanity was not going down without a fight. The Celestials had arrived expecting an easy conquest but instead found themselves entangled in a web of human creativity that defied all expectations. In cities around the world, New York City, Tokyo, London, people began gathering in parks and public squares to share ideas and strategies for communicating with their extraterrestrial visitors. This grassroots movement sparked innovation at an unprecedented pace. Back on board her ship, Captain Aloan realized that they might have underestimated humanity's potential for collaboration and creativity, a trait that had allowed them to thrive despite their technological limitations. This is not just about technology, she reflected quietly as she watched humans work tirelessly below her ship's hull. It's about their spirit. As night fell over Earth once more and stars twinkled overhead like distant beacons of hope, Captain Aloan prepared for what lay ahead, a confrontation that would challenge everything she thought she knew about this resilient species called humanity. Part 2 will continue exploring how humans respond creatively to this unexpected encounter with the Celestials while introducing new characters who embody human ingenuity and determination in facing an advanced alien race. Unexpected resistance. As the sun rose over the sprawling metropolis of New Mumbai, the air buzzed with a sense of urgency. The invasion of the Celestials had thrown the world into chaos, but amidst the uncertainty, a spark of creativity ignited among humanity. A new kind of defense. Maya, a teenage robotics enthusiast, stood in her cluttered garage, surrounded by tools and half-finished projects. She had always been fascinated by technology and how it could solve problems. Now, faced with an alien threat, she felt an overwhelming urge to contribute. What if we could disrupt their communication? Maya mused aloud, her mind racing with possibilities. She recalled her recent competition-winning ultrasonic array designed for waste management. It was a long shot, but what if it could be repurposed to create interference patterns against the celestial ships? Her friends gathered around her, intrigued by her idea. "It's worth a try," said Tariq, a fellow engineer who had been working on drones. "If we can create sound waves that confuse their systems, we might have a chance." With determination fueling their efforts, Maya and her friends worked tirelessly to modify the ultrasonic array. They spent hours calibrating the device to emit specific frequencies that could interfere with the Celestials' communication signals. As they tested their creation, excitement filled the air. This could be humanity's first real act of resistance. Global innovations. Meanwhile, across the globe in Brazil, a team of carnival lighting designers was brainstorming ways to combat the alien ships hovering ominously over their city. They had seen how the Celestials' crystalline structures refracted light and decided to use this to their advantage. "Let's create a light show that confuses them," suggested one designer. They began experimenting with precisely timed strobes and mirrors to create dazzling displays that would disrupt the celestial sensors. In South Africa, mining engineers were also taking matters into their own hands. They recognized that the aliens' technology was based on light manipulation and decided to use industrial diamonds, tools they were familiar with, to redirect the Celestials' own light-based weapons against them. As these disparate groups worked independently yet simultaneously around the world, something remarkable began to happen. Humanity was uniting through creativity and innovation. The Internet as a weapon. Back in New Mumbai, Maya's team had successfully created a prototype of their ultrasonic disruption device. They shared their findings online, posting videos and tutorials on social media platforms. Within hours, their project went viral. People from all walks of life began contributing ideas and modifications to enhance Maya's device. Engineers offered technical advice, musicians suggested sound frequencies, even children chimed in with wild ideas that sparked further creativity. The Internet became humanity's most powerful weapon against the Celestials. What started as isolated efforts transformed into a global movement where individuals collaborated freely without centralized authority or military oversight. A confounding response. On board the Celestial Command ship, Captain Aloan watched in disbelief as reports flooded in about humanity's unexpected responses. "They're not using conventional weapons," she remarked to Dr. Yarrick during a strategy meeting. "They're creating chaos with everyday items." Dr. Yarrick analyzed the data streaming in from Earth's surface. "They've repurposed devices for defense, ultrasonic arrays, laser pointers, even household appliances. It's as if they're mocking our advanced technology." Commander Voss frowned at the holographic display showing various human innovations. "We underestimated them," he admitted reluctantly. Their adaptability is proving to be more formidable than anticipated. As reports of human ingenuity spread through the celestial ranks, unease began to ripple among their leaders. They had expected fear and submission from this primitive civilization but were instead met with resilience and creativity that defied all logic. The first encounter. On day 3 of the invasion, Maya's team prepared for their first real test against the celestial ships hovering above New Mumbai. They set up their ultrasonic array on a rooftop overlooking the cityscape and connected it to a portable power source. "Are we ready?" Tariq asked nervously as they gathered around their makeshift command center. "Ready as we'll ever be," Maya replied confidently, her heart racing with anticipation. As they activated the device, a series of high-pitched sounds echoed through the air, frequencies designed to disrupt celestial communication signals. Almost immediately, they noticed changes in the behavior of the alien ships above them. Lights flickered erratically as if confused by an unseen force. "Look! It's working," one of Maya's friends shouted excitedly as they watched from below. But just as hope surged within them, an ominous shadow loomed over their rooftop. A celestial drone had spotted them. A moment of fear. The drone descended rapidly, its crystalline surface glinting menacingly in the sunlight. Panic surged through Maya's team as they scrambled for cover while desperately trying to maintain control over their device. "We need to keep it focused," Tariq shouted over the noise as he adjusted dials on their equipment. Maya felt her heart pounding in her chest. This was no longer just an experiment, it was real life or death now. Suddenly, as if answering her silent plea for help, crowds began gathering below them, people from all walks of life united in solidarity against their common enemy. They raised their voices in chants of defiance and support for those fighting back against the Celestials. The power of unity. Seeing this outpouring of support ignited something within Maya. She realized they were not alone in this fight. Inspired by those around her, she refocused on her task at hand and shouted instructions to her friends. "Keep it steady. We can do this together." With renewed determination, they worked as one cohesive unit, adjusting frequencies and angles until finally achieving maximum interference against the drone above them. The drone began to wobble erratically before retreating back into the sky. Cheers erupted from below as people witnessed this small victory against an overwhelming force. The power of unity and creativity had triumphed, for now. A new dawn. As night fell over New Mumbai and stars began twinkling overhead like distant beacons of hope, Maya reflected on what had transpired that day. They had faced fear head-on and emerged stronger together, a testament to humanity's resilience when confronted with adversity. But deep down inside her heart lingered a question: how long could this ingenuity hold against such advanced technology? With determination burning bright within her spirit, she vowed to keep fighting alongside others who refused to surrender, because together they were more than just individuals, they were humanity united against an alien threat that sought to extinguish their light. Part 3 will explore how different groups across Earth collaborate further and share innovative solutions while introducing new characters who embody human ingenuity amidst escalating tensions with the Celestials. The power of collaboration. A new alliance. As the sun rose over the bustling streets of Cairo, a sense of urgency filled the air. The world had been shaken by the celestial invasion, and humanity was scrambling to respond. In a small tech hub, a group of scientists and engineers gathered to discuss their next steps. Among them was Lyra, a brilliant physicist known for her innovative ideas. "We need to share our knowledge," Lyra declared, her voice steady and determined. "If we work together, we can find a way to counter the Celestials." Finn, a tech-savvy programmer with a knack for coding, nodded in agreement. "I've been tracking their movements using open-source software. If we can pool our resources, we might be able to create a unified strategy." The group quickly set to work, creating an online platform where people from all over the globe could share their findings and collaborate on solutions. Within hours, scientists, engineers, and everyday citizens began uploading videos, diagrams, and ideas, each contribution adding to the growing repository of knowledge. Global collaboration. As news of the collaboration spread, more people joined in. In Tokyo, a team of robotics experts modified drones to carry small disruption devices that could interfere with celestial communications. In London, artists and designers created visual displays that confused the alien sensors with patterns and lights. The internet became a lifeline for humanity. Videos showcasing innovative solutions went viral, inspiring others to think outside the box. The sheer volume of creativity was staggering. People were repurposing everything from kitchen appliances to old gaming consoles into tools for resistance. Back in Cairo, Lyra and Finn watched as their platform exploded with activity. "This is incredible," Finn exclaimed as he scrolled through the latest uploads. "Look at what they're doing in Brazil. They've created a sound-based weapon using old speakers." Lyra smiled, feeling hope swell within her. "We're proving that our strength lies in our diversity. Each person brings something unique to the table." The first major operation. As days turned into weeks, the Celestials continued their assault on major cities worldwide. However, humanity's response was evolving rapidly. The first major coordinated operation was planned for New Delhi, where engineers had discovered that they could amplify sound waves using large metal structures found throughout the city. On the day of the operation, thousands gathered in New Delhi's central square. Lyra stood at the forefront alongside Finn and other leaders of the collaboration. They had set up massive speakers aimed at the sky, each one connected to a network that would synchronize their sound waves. "Remember," Lyra addressed the crowd, "this is about more than just technology, it's about unity. We're not just fighting for ourselves but for every person on this planet." The crowd erupted in cheers as they prepared for what would be their first large-scale attempt to disrupt celestial operations. The moment of truth. As the celestial ships descended upon New Delhi, their crystalline forms glimmering ominously against the blue sky, tension hung thick in the air. Lyra took a deep breath and signaled for everyone to activate their devices. The speakers roared to life, unleashing powerful sound waves that resonated through the streets like thunder. The vibrations traveled upward toward the alien ships, creating an interference pattern designed to overload their systems. For a moment, nothing happened, but then it began. The lead celestial ship shuddered violently as its sensors struggled to process the barrage of sound waves hitting it from all directions. "It's working!" Finn shouted excitedly as he monitored the readings on his laptop. A confounding response. The Celestials were caught off guard by this unexpected tactic. Zixtal, observing from his command ship high above New Delhi, felt a wave of confusion wash over him as he watched his fleet falter under this new form of attack. "What is happening?" he transmitted urgently to his council members. "They are using sound waves? This is not possible." His council members exchanged worried glances as they tried to make sense of humanity's unpredictable strategies. "Perhaps they are adapting faster than we anticipated," one analyst suggested hesitantly. Zixtal clenched his crystalline fists in frustration. "We must regain control. Order an immediate countermeasure." The aftermath. As the operation continued in New Delhi, reports began pouring in from around the world about similar successful attempts at resistance. In Sydney, engineers had created makeshift electromagnetic pulse devices using old radios and car batteries that disrupted celestial communications just as effectively. Back in Cairo, Lyra and Finn celebrated their success alongside their team members. "We did it!" Finn exclaimed as he high-fived Lyra. "This proves we can stand up against them." But amidst their celebration lingered an unsettling thought: how long could they keep this momentum going? The Celestials were powerful and advanced, they would undoubtedly retaliate with greater force. An unexpected visitor. Just as these thoughts crossed Lyra's mind, a message arrived through their online platform, a video call request from an unexpected source, an engineer named Dax from Canada who claimed he had made a significant discovery regarding celestial technology. "Everyone! You need to see this," Dax said excitedly as he connected with Lyra and Finn's team. "What have you found?" Lyra asked eagerly. Dax explained how he had been analyzing debris from downed celestial ships and discovered that their technology was not only based on light manipulation but also had vulnerabilities tied to specific frequencies that humans could exploit further. "If we can identify these frequencies," Dax continued passionately, "we might be able to create targeted attacks that could disable their ships entirely." A call to action. Lyra felt her heart race at Dax's revelation. This could change everything. She quickly organized a global meeting through their online platform so everyone could contribute ideas based on Dax's findings. "Let's gather all our resources," she urged during the meeting. "We need engineers, scientists, anyone who can help us identify these frequencies and develop new strategies." As participants from around the world chimed in with suggestions and ideas ranging from acoustic models to computational simulations, Lyra felt a renewed sense of purpose wash over her. This was humanity at its best, resourceful, collaborative, and unyielding in adversity. Moving forward together. In the following days leading up to their next major operation against the Celestials, teams worked tirelessly across continents, sharing data and refining techniques based on Dax's findings. Lyra knew there would be challenges ahead, however, she also understood that each step taken together brought them closer not only to victory but also strengthened bonds between nations previously divided by borders or ideologies. As she stood looking out over Cairo's skyline one evening after another long day of planning sessions filled with laughter and camaraderie among her peers, she realized something profound. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't just creativity or technology, it was unity born from shared purpose. With determination igniting within her spirit like never before, she vowed they would continue fighting until every last person on Earth felt empowered enough to stand up against any threat, even one as formidable as the Celestials looming above them. Part 4 will delve into how humanity's newfound collaboration leads them towards significant breakthroughs against celestial technology while introducing new characters who embody resilience amidst escalating tensions with alien forces. The breaking point. A new discovery. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her lab results in disbelief. What had started as a routine spectral analysis of meridian crystal fragments had turned into something far more significant. Her team at the Singapore Quantum Research Center had been studying debris from a damaged alien ship when they noticed something extraordinary. The crystalline structures didn't just communicate through light, they were fundamentally altered by it. "Look at this!" Sarah exclaimed, pointing at the holographic display in front of her team. "The light patterns are changing the properties of the crystals themselves. It's as if they respond to our light." Her colleague, Dr. Amir, leaned closer, squinting at the data. "This could explain why their ships are so sensitive to our frequencies. If we can manipulate the light we send to them, we might be able to disrupt their systems even further." Excitement rippled through the lab. The team quickly began brainstorming ways to harness this newfound knowledge. They realized that if they could create a device that emitted specific light frequencies, they could potentially disable the Meridian ships and turn the tide of battle. The global response. Meanwhile, across the globe, the Meridian assault intensified. Crystal ships now hung over every major city, their surfaces shimmering with barely contained energy. Zixtal had ordered an overwhelming show of force, believing that sheer power would crush human resistance. But humanity was not backing down. Inspired by Sarah's findings, engineers and scientists worldwide began collaborating more closely than ever before. They shared their research and findings through online platforms, creating a network of innovation that spanned continents. In New York City, a group of artists and engineers came together to design a massive light installation that could project specific frequencies into the sky. They called it the Beacon. The installation was intended to confuse and disrupt the Meridian sensors while also serving as a symbol of hope for those fighting back. Let's make this a spectacle, said Maya, one of the lead designers. We need to show everyone that we're not afraid. The beacon takes shape. As preparations for the beacon progressed, excitement filled the air. People from all walks of life contributed, musicians composed soundtracks to accompany the light show, while local businesses donated materials and resources. On the night of the unveiling, thousands gathered in Central Park to witness this unprecedented event. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as Sarah and her team prepared to activate their new device alongside the beacon. Are you ready? Sarah asked her colleagues, her heart racing with adrenaline. Ready as we'll ever be, Dr. Amir replied confidently. As night fell and darkness enveloped the city, the beacon illuminated the sky with vibrant colors that danced and swirled like a living organism. The crowd gasped in awe as beams of light shot upward toward the hovering Meridian ships. A shocking turn. As the beacon activated, it emitted a series of carefully calibrated frequencies designed to resonate with the crystalline structures of the alien ships. Almost immediately, chaos erupted among the celestials above. Zixtal watched in horror as his fleet began to falter under this unexpected assault. What is happening? He demanded from his command ship, his crystalline form vibrating with agitation. Sir! Their light patterns are interfering with our systems, an analyst reported frantically. We're losing control. The Meridian ships began to shimmer erratically as if caught in a storm of color and sound. For once, they were not invulnerable, they were vulnerable to human creativity and ingenuity. Humanity's resilience. Back in Central Park, cheers erupted from the crowd as they witnessed their first significant victory against an overwhelming force. People hugged each other and shouted in celebration, a moment of unity against adversity. Maya stood at the forefront, tears of joy streaming down her face as she watched the beacon work its magic. We did it! We actually did it, she exclaimed. But amidst their celebration lingered an awareness that this was only one battle in an ongoing war. Zixtal would not give up easily, he would regroup and retaliate with greater force. A disturbing realization. As dawn broke over New York City, Zixtal convened an emergency council meeting aboard his command ship. His council members flickered nervously in response to his presence. We underestimated them, he admitted gravely. These humans are not just chaotic, they are adaptive and creative beyond our understanding. One council member spoke up hesitantly. Perhaps we should reconsider our approach? If we continue to attack directly, we may only strengthen their resolve. Zixtal pondered this suggestion deeply. He had always believed in the superiority of his crystalline race, their perfection lay in logic and order, but now he faced an unsettling truth: humanity's strength lay in its imperfections and willingness to experiment. A call for change. Back on Earth, Sarah and her team were already planning their next steps after witnessing the beacon's success. They knew that while they had gained ground, there was still much work ahead. We need to build on this momentum, Sarah urged during a brainstorming session with her colleagues. If we can create more devices like the beacon across different cities, we can coordinate our efforts globally. Dr. Amir nodded enthusiastically. We can use existing technology, projectors, lasers, anything that can emit specific frequencies tailored to disrupt their systems. As ideas flowed freely among them, Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose wash over her, a determination not just to survive but to thrive against an alien force that had underestimated humanity's potential. Preparing for what lies ahead. In cities around the world, from London to Sydney, engineers began collaborating on similar projects inspired by the beacon's success. They shared blueprints online and organized local events where people could come together to build devices designed for resistance. Meanwhile, Zixtal faced mounting pressure from his council members who urged him to take decisive action against humanity's unexpected resilience. We cannot allow them to continue adapting, one advisor warned urgently. If we do not crush their spirit now, they will only grow stronger. Zixtal felt torn between his instincts as a leader and the undeniable truth that humanity was evolving rapidly before his eyes, a species capable of turning adversity into opportunity through sheer creativity. A moment of reflection. As Zixtal gazed out at Earth from his command ship high above, he found himself contemplating what it truly meant to be superior. Was it merely about strength or control? Or did it encompass adaptability, the ability to learn from mistakes and embrace change? With these thoughts swirling within him like fragments of light refracting through crystal prisms, he realized that perhaps it was time for a new approach, one that acknowledged humanity's potential rather than dismissed it outright. As both sides prepared for what lay ahead, a clash not just between two races but also between two philosophies, one thing became clear: creativity would be humanity's greatest weapon against an alien force that had long believed itself invincible. Part 5 will delve into how humanity's newfound collaboration leads them toward significant breakthroughs against celestial technology while introducing new characters who embody resilience amidst escalating tensions with alien forces. The final confrontation. A new strategy. As the sun rose over the horizon, casting a golden hue across the landscape, humanity was preparing for what could be their most significant battle yet. The celestial invasion had reached a critical point, and both sides were aware that the next moves would determine the fate of Earth. High Commander Zixtal, observing from his command ship, felt the weight of his decisions pressing down on him. "Prepare for a full-scale assault," Zix commanded, his crystalline form shimmering with determination. "We will not allow these humans to adapt any further." Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen and her team at the Singapore Quantum Research Center were finalizing their plans based on the discoveries they had made regarding the Meridian technology. They had developed a new device capable of emitting specific light frequencies that could disrupt the celestial ship systems even more effectively than before. "Today is our chance to turn the tide," Sarah said to her team as they gathered around their equipment. "We've learned so much from our previous encounters. Now we must put that knowledge to use." The gathering storm. Across the globe, various teams were mobilizing for this decisive confrontation. In New York City, Maya and her group of engineers had collaborated with artists and musicians to create an elaborate display that would serve as both a distraction and a weapon against the Celestials. "We'll synchronize our light shows with Sarah's frequency disruptors," Maya explained excitedly during a planning meeting. "If we can confuse them visually while hitting them with those frequencies, we might just stand a chance." In London, Lyra and Finn were working tirelessly to coordinate efforts with other cities. They set up communication channels to ensure everyone was on the same page. "We need to be united in this," Lyra emphasized. "Our strength lies in our collaboration." The day of reckoning. As the day of confrontation approached, tension filled the air. People from all walks of life gathered in major cities worldwide: New York, Tokyo, London, Sydney, ready to face their alien adversaries. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Humanity had never faced such a powerful enemy before. On the morning of the battle, Zixtal's forces descended upon Earth in full force. Massive celestial ships blotted out the sun as they hovered ominously over major cities, their crystalline surfaces glimmering menacingly. "This is it," Zix transmitted to his council members as they prepared for action. "We will show them the futility of resistance." A unified front. As Zix's forces began their assault, humanity sprang into action. In New York City, Maya activated their light display while simultaneously coordinating with Sarah's frequency disruptors. The sky erupted in a dazzling array of colors as beams of light shot upward toward the celestial ships. "Now!" Maya shouted as she pressed a button on her control panel. The devices emitted powerful light frequencies that resonated with the celestial ship structures. Almost immediately, chaos ensued among Zixtal's fleet as their systems began to malfunction under the unexpected assault. "Commander! We're losing control," one of Zix's analysts reported frantically. The power of creativity. In response to this unforeseen challenge, Zix ordered his forces to regroup and retaliate. However, humanity was ready for this counterattack. Engineers had set up makeshift defenses using everything from construction equipment to modified vehicles designed to amplify sound waves. In Brazil, carnival lighting designers used their skills to create stunning visual displays that confused celestial sensors while simultaneously broadcasting disruptive sound waves. In South Africa, mining engineers employed heavy machinery to create vibrations that targeted specific frequencies within the alien ship structures. "This is incredible," Finn exclaimed as he monitored live feeds from around the world. "They're using everything they have at their disposal." A moment of doubt. As the battle raged on, Zixtal found himself facing an unsettling realization: humanity's creativity was proving more effective than his fleet's advanced technology. Despite his superior resources and knowledge, he struggled to predict their next moves. What if we underestimated them? Zix pondered aloud during a council meeting. They are not just fighting back, they are adapting faster than we can respond. His council members exchanged glances filled with uncertainty. Perhaps we should reconsider our approach, one suggested hesitantly. If we continue this assault without understanding their tactics, we may only strengthen their resolve. A turning point. Back on Earth, Sarah and her team continued pushing forward with their frequency disruptor devices. As they monitored data from various cities engaged in battle, they noticed something remarkable: humans were not just defending themselves, they were innovating in real time. "Look at this." Sarah pointed at her screen as she observed multiple feeds showcasing creative solutions being implemented across different locations. They're modifying existing technology on the fly. Inspired by this resilience and adaptability, Sarah rallied her team for one final push: let's combine our efforts. We can create a synchronized attack that targets multiple ships at once. The final assault. As night fell over Earth and stars began twinkling overhead like distant beacons of hope, humanity prepared for what would be their final assault against the Celestials. Cities worldwide synchronized their devices. Light displays combined with sound waves created a symphony of disruption aimed directly at Zixtal's fleet. "Now is our moment," Maya shouted as she initiated the countdown for their coordinated attack. With hearts pounding in anticipation, people held their breath as beams of light shot upward into the sky while resonant frequencies echoed through urban landscapes like thunderclaps. An unexpected outcome. As Zixtal watched from his command ship, he felt an overwhelming sense of confusion wash over him as his fleet struggled against this unprecedented barrage of creativity and ingenuity. "Commander, we cannot hold," one analyst cried out desperately as systems began failing across multiple ships. Zix realized that humanity's strength lay not just in technology but also in their ability to think outside established patterns, a trait he had long dismissed as primitive but now recognized as vital for survival. "Retreat," he finally ordered reluctantly, knowing that continuing this battle would only lead to further losses for his fleet. A new dawn. As dawn broke over Earth once more and sunlight illuminated cities recovering from battle scars, the world erupted into celebration. Humanity had faced an overwhelming force and emerged victorious through creativity and collaboration. In parks and streets around the globe, people hugged each other tightly, tears streaming down faces filled with joy and relief. They had proven that even against seemingly insurmountable odds, unity could prevail. Maya stood amidst her friends in New York City, her heart swelling with pride knowing they had all played a part in this victory together. It wasn't just about technology or strategy, it was about human spirit shining brighter than any alien threat ever could. As celebrations continued throughout cities worldwide, Sarah reflected on what lay ahead, rebuilding after destruction while cherishing newfound connections forged through adversity, a reminder that when faced with challenges beyond comprehension, humans would always find ways to adapt and innovate together. Part 6 will explore how humanity begins rebuilding after their victory while addressing lingering questions about coexistence with alien species and what it means for future generations on Earth.